Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and welcome to the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on June 30th, 2021, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. Explosive fireworks news for the Disney parks, demolition in Mickey's Toontown, the potential for a new Tower of Terror movie, and more. It's all coming your way right after this. Who's Its and What's Its, your one-stop online shop for magically inspired merch, has been rocking it lately with consistently new offerings. Whether you're looking for t-shirts, hats, sweats, pins, beanies, and so much more inspired by your favorite Disney content, Who's Its and What's Its is the place for you. And the fantastic news is that you can save 15% off of your entire order simply by using code DCTC when checking out. I'm not talking about 15% off of just one item. I mean 15% off of your full order, whether you get one thingamabob or 100. So head to the link in this episode's description to get inspired, and if you see something that you like, use code DCTC when checking out.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
For the first time in 15 months, every Disney theme park in the world is now open. This milestone was reached on June 17th as Disneyland Paris officially welcomed back guests. What's more, the resort also recently debuted a new attraction and a completely reimagined hotel. First, with the reopening of Walt Disney Studios Park, the new Cars Road Trip ride has premiered, replacing the former Studio Tram Tour. In addition to adding Cars characters and props throughout, the iconic Catastrophe Canyon has been rethemed to Cars-tastrophe Canyon, complete with a Dynaco tanker. I definitely want to check that out. Then, on June 21st, Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel, officially welcomed its first guests. While the four-star hotel celebrates the culture and energy of New York City, it also features an art gallery of Marvel characters that includes more than 350 works. The Marvel influence also extends to guest rooms, dining locations, and beyond, including the Skyline Bar, which includes panoramic windows that feature a few Marvel twists. Welcome back, Disneyland Paris. The official Disney fan club has teased a special event called Destination D23 for later this year. Subtitled A Fantastic Disney Celebration, the event will take place at Disney's Contemporary Resort from November 19th through the 21st and will celebrate the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. Attendees will be among the first to hear exciting announcements and see sneak peeks of upcoming projects, while also reliving favorite memories with behind-the-scenes stories, special guests, and more. Additional information about the event will be revealed in the coming weeks, and tickets for Destination D23 will be available to D23 Gold members in July. Speaking of the Contemporary Resort, Walt Disney World has shared a first look at the hotel's renovated rooms, which take inspiration from Pixar's The Incredibles. As the images show, the remodeled rooms will take on a retro-modern aesthetic along with Incredibles touches such as Frozone and Edna pillows, Jack Jack artwork, and much more. Additionally, the lobby will be undergoing a refurbishment starting this July, and the Wave of American Flavors will be reimagined for a new dining experience that will be ready in time for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. Over at Disney Springs, the popular Salt and Straw ice cream shop has announced that a new location will arrive sometime next year. Not only is the ice creamery known for their unique and often offbeat flavors, but they've also proven to be a big hit with Disney fans judging by their downtown Disney location. So get ready for more sweet treats coming to Disney Springs in 2022. Buying merchandise at the Disney parks is continuing to get a bit easier as the mobile checkout option is expanding at both the Disneyland and Walt Disney World resorts. At the latter, the feature is now being tested at World of Disney at Disney Springs, joining Mouse Gear at Epcot. On the other coast, mobile checkout has expanded to the Emporium and Elias & Company, while it also remains available at Downtown Disney's World of Disney. At all of these locations, guests can either scan the in-store QR code or open the resort's respective app to get started. Then they'll pick up a clear shopping bag, scan items as they go, complete their transaction on the app, and show their phone to the cast members at the exit. With this option still in testing, expect that a few tweaks could be made as mobile check-in continues to spread. Less than a month after its official opening, Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure has been updated once again. This time, Loki has received his second new costume, keeping in line with the character's look in the Disney Plus series. After briefly appearing in his TVA prisoner outfit, the God of Mischief has now donned a variant jacket and tie and is free of the TVA Minutemen that previously accompanied him. With 3 more episodes of Loki to go, perhaps we'll see him transform even more in the coming weeks. Some very intriguing movie news dropped this week regarding a popular Disney attraction possibly becoming a feature film. According to Collider, Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson is set to produce and star in a Tower of Terror film. Although not much else is known about the project at this time, Toy Story 4 writer and director Josh Cooley is said to be penning the script. Incidentally, fans may recall that a TV movie inspired by Tower of Terror was released in 1997, starring Steve Guttenberg and Kirsten Dunst. If you'd like to hear from that movie's writer and director, DJ McHale, check out episode 437 of Disney Coast to Coast in the show notes. So can lightning strike twice? We'll just have to wait and see. To the surprise of no one, another Disney live-action remake is underway. Now, Rachel Zegler has been cast to play Snow White in the upcoming film. Deadline reports that her casting was cemented after Disney execs were impressed with her performance in 20th Century Studios and Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. After the news broke, Zegler took to Twitter to share a short video of her with the Disney park's Snow White. No release date for the film is currently announced, but production is expected to start in 2022. The highly anticipated documentary The Beatles Get Back, helmed by Peter Jackson, is changing up its release plans. Although the film was set to hit theaters in August, it will now become a 3-part documentary series that will debut on Disney Plus this November. What's more, each episode will run 2 hours in length, amounting to 6 hours of unseen footage compiled by Jackson. The 3 episodes will begin streaming November 25th, 26th, and 27th, respectively. Commenting on the change, Disney Executive Chairman Bob Iger stated, quote, "As a huge Beatles fan myself, I am absolutely thrilled that Disney Plus will be the home for this extraordinary documentary series by the legendary filmmaker Peter Jackson," end quote, while Jackson himself said of the expanded project, quote, "Over 6 hours, you'll get to know the Beatles with an intimacy that you never thought possible." Following Loki's success in making Wednesdays the new Fridays, Disney Plus has adjusted the release dates for several other upcoming series. Now, starting with premieres in July, the streaming service's original shows will air on Wednesdays, while original movies will continue to debut on Fridays. This change has meant new, slightly delayed release dates for upcoming series such as Monsters at Work, Turner and Hooch, Behind the Attraction, and more. The first of these shows, Monsters at Work, will now premiere on Disney Plus Wednesday, July 7th. And now it's time to bring back Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com. Howdy, Kyle.
Hey, Jeff.
The world is returning to normal. The world is back to normal because Disney...
Maybe not the world.
Am I exaggerating a little? Disney Parks
World.
Walt Disney World. The fireworks are back.
I didn't mean that one.
The fireworks are back at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Of course, I'm jesting here, but this is a sign of times returning to normal a bit, which is fantastic. You know, July 1st, Happily Ever After officially returns to Magic Kingdom, and July 4th, a very appropriate date for pyrotechnics, Mickey's Mix Magic officially returns to Disneyland Park. I'm so happy for this, Kyle. I can't even tell you. It just, you know, without Walt's Kiss Goodnight, it just didn't feel like a real Disney day. And I get it, it's not even 365 days a year that these things normally go off, but it just feels like the first, other than the gates reopening, the first major thing to come back.
That's fair. I mean, I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with the fireworks. Like, I like them in theory, and I'm always excited when there's a new one. I love, like, Remember Dreams Come True. But then there's other times when I'm in the parks, and if I'm not there to actually watch the fireworks, I'm just annoyed by them. Like, the past couple times I've been in Magic Kingdom, I'm like, are they, like, louder than normal? Because I feel...
Wow, you're going to grumpy old man territory. I thought you were just going to say, like, the crowds can get annoying. Listen, I mean, it's even worse at Disneyland when everything becomes one-way traffic. I don't think it's that extreme at Magic Kingdom since they have more space. But yes, the fireworks can definitely cause chaos. And I know people who are like, okay, I'm getting to the park before July 4th because I don't want to have to deal with the fireworks crowds. And I get that, but for me, I'm a live entertainment guy, and I'm thrilled to have them back. Listen, we're getting Mickey's Mixed Magic here at Disneyland. It's probably the worst fireworks show that exists, but regardless, I'll take it over nothing. It is interesting though, because Mickey's Mixed Magic before, in the before times, they weren't even shooting pyro every time they showed that show. It was only on weekends. Right. So it's primarily a projection show with some pyro. It does sound like all summer they'll be shooting off the pyro as part of it, which is great. But it's not even a real fireworks show. It's the budget fireworks show coming back to Disneyland.
And environmental, I think that's probably having a bigger impact. And, I'm sure the residents of Anaheim also appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more about the cost, to be completely honest. That would be my guess. But we will say Magic Kingdom is getting back that fantastic fireworks show, Happily Ever After, but only for a limited time because we did get news that a new fireworks show is premiering in Magic Kingdom on October 1st, which is, of course, Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, and the show is called Disney Enchantment. This evening extravaganza will take you on a journey filled with adventure, wonder, and empowerment, inspiring everyone to believe in magic. Disney Enchantment will feature music, enhanced lighting, stunning fireworks, and, for the first time, immersive projection effects that extend from Cinderella Castle down Main Street, USA. As I read this, I was like, oh wow, I forgot that is not a Walt Disney World thing, because I'm so used to that. That's the main projection source at Disneyland. So that is kind of exciting.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when I read it. I was like, they mean first time at Magic Kingdom. I'm like, well, I guess they said Cinderella Castle to Main Street, so they're accurate.
Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty cool enhancement of course at Disneyland it's a much more needed because Sleeping Beauty Castle is so small, and it's crazy how early people start, lining up there or sitting down there to wait for the fireworks sometimes. And I get it, but it's pretty rare that I will be near the castle for the fireworks because I won't wait 3 hours for them. But Main Street USA is a great alternative. And it's even such a problem that they project on It's a Small World and even the Rivers of America and stuff. So they have options at Disneyland. But this is exciting. This is a plus for the 50th anniversary. And I think that's super cool. As far as the show, it sounds like a musical review, which is the typical fireworks show.
It'll be the same 5 songs you hear in all of them.
I know. I am curious to see. I have a feeling this will be a smaller show than Happily Ever After show, which is disappointing, but I just feel like we're, every new fireworks show we get is heading more toward projection, less pyro for environmental reasons. I believe it's budgetary reasons, but who knows which is correct. Maybe it's both. So I don't know. It'll be a bit of a bummer if the 50th fireworks show is not as grand as Happily Ever After, which, let's face it, is a great possibility because Happily Ever After is a really freaking good show. I think it'll be tough to top.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that they're extending the projections all the way down Main Street is a good indication that they're going to try to make that a big selling point. And I don't know if that means fewer fireworks overall or just, putting more emphasis on that part of the experience. So
yeah, I think you're right, especially since when you are on Main Street and you're kind of telling people, hey, look at the pyro. It means look at the projections. It means look away from the pyro. You got to turn your head away from the pyrotechnics. So yeah, I think you're right. With the additional projectors, it probably does mean less pyro than before. It'll be interesting to see, at the point where I'm sure Happily Ever After, when that returns, it'll be interesting to see if they incorporate those new projectors into that show, because I assume it'll have to return, right? It's not that old. It's a pretty big show for them to just be like, yeah, we're done after what's it been, 5 years or something.
Yeah, someone asked me the other day, they're like, oh, is it official that Happily Ever After is done on October 1st? And I was like, do fireworks show ever really die? We still have Fantasy in the Sky every so often.
I think Wishes is dead.
Yeah, maybe Walt Disney World's a little different story, but at Disneyland, they'll just trot anything out. Remember where it's everyone just assumed that Remember Dreams Come True was gone forever, and then they just brought it back for 2 months for no reason.
Listen, I genuinely feel that Remember Dreams Come True should just be always at Disneyland. Like, that is...
Yeah, they could update it a little bit.
Sure. I mean, they did abridge it at one point, but I think it's the greatest fireworks show that Disney's ever done. It is the most appropriate. It makes sense in the park. It actually has, like, a through line that is solid. I love Remember Dreams Come True.
Me too. And I think the big differentiator is that, we have enough shows like Fantasmic and some of the stage shows like Mickey and the Wondrous Book and Mickey and the Magical Map and all those style shows that are about the movies and bringing out those characters and those songs. So to have a fireworks show that's about the theme parks makes it so much different and not just a rehash.
Yeah, and not only that, like, I love that it's not only about Disneyland, but it's kind of like a tour of your day, what you just went through. And I just think is brilliant. But listen, this isn't about Remember Dreams Come True. We're talking about pyrotechnics being back and Mickey's Mixed Magic, sadly, for Disneyland Park. But it's good news. It's good news. And in addition to that news, we also got the news that Harmonious will indeed be making its debut at Epcot on October 1st. So obviously there's going to be the bloggers are going to go crazy on October 1st. You better get your teams ready to be everywhere because there is stuff opening everywhere on that day. Until then, we're getting Epcot Forever back, minus the kites, from what I understand, because they will run into giant barges if they do that. So,
I guess so, yeah. Or maybe they're shipping them over to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, their next story there. But I got to make a confession. I have never even seen video of Epcot Forever.
I've only remember people complaining about it when it first opened because of it had like an Aladdin finale or something, right?
That is bizarre. So yes, it was all about kind of like retro Epcot, which you'd think I would have like checked out. But when it comes to nighttime spectaculars, I'm like, oh, I'll see it in person. And then when I was like, I probably won't ever see it in person, I just have never gone back to check out video of it. But it was all like retro Epcot, and then it ended on A Whole New World from Aladdin, which is weird. I get where they were going. Like, listen, it's around World Showcase, A Whole New World. I get it, but I'm like, but that's a
and
little...
all these new projects that we're going to cancel in a couple months.
Yeah, right. So... it's kind of reminds me of like when they, with World of Color and Fantasmic, where it's like everything is animation except Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, ooh, one of these things is not like the other. And that's what the Aladdin segment kind of felt like, according to a lot of people who have seen it. So in any case, we get that back until October 1st. And then we get Harmonious, which is, something that I'm sure the company is expecting to run for 20 years plus, like Illuminations did. So we'll see how successful that is and whether or not it's worth destroying photos for the next 20 years whenever taking a photo in World Showcase.
Harmonious does definitely seem like the type of template for a show that they can update, kind of like World of Color when they have new things. They can throw it in, do tags and stuff. So we'll see if that's
possibly
true.
By the way, their description is, they say, this new show will bring the globe together at World Showcase Lagoon in a celebration of Disney music that inspires people worldwide. It's a grand, powerful tribute to the stories and songs that unite us, embracing new technical magic that incorporates pyrotechnics, choreographed moving fountains, lighting, and media in new ways. Harmonious will invite you to travel the globe through new interpretations of classic Disney songs as you have never heard them before, reimagined in more than a dozen languages by a diverse group of 240 artists from around the world. So we got that to look forward to, but it doesn't end there, Kyle, because we got Disney Kite Tales coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is a new show coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park in celebration of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. The new show will take place at the Discovery River Amphitheater starting October 1st, 2021. Go figure. AKA the Rivers of Light Amphitheater. Disney Kite Tales will take place several times a day, with performers flying wind catchers and kites of all shapes and sizes. Out on the water, elaborate three-dimensional kites will depict Disney animal friends, including Simba, Zazu, Baloo, and King Louie. Some of them will be stretching out to 30 feet long. The kites will dance through the sky to favorite Disney songs. And so it's cool. I'm glad they're doing something with this space. I do question though, like, what if it's not a windy day? Like, this is going to be like the opposite effect of Disneyland fireworks. So it's not windy enough. We're going to cancel Disney Kite Tales.
It's the opposite of the Golden Zephyr is what it is.
Right. But like, that's kind of a genuine concern, right? Don't you think?
I don't think it needs to be that windy. So the only thing that I'm thinking of is at Tokyo Disney Sea, they have jet skis, and they have...
Oh, do you think that's... that's how
I don't know if they're going to be jet skis, but I'm saying, like, I think that they... Just like, it doesn't have to be a windy day for you to run and fly a kite. Like, it helps. There should be some wind. But yeah, maybe they'll have something that they can, cruise and get some speed and get the wind going.
Yeah, and the concept art for this looks really cool. Like I said, it's really nice to see them doing something with this very expensive amphitheater that really, its original purpose was not received super well. So hopefully this is something that'll catch on. The other nice thing about it is it's something that can be done all day long. This isn't wait for nighttime, wait for the sun to set sort of situation. And it seems kind of unique to me. So I don't think it's going to be like an extravaganza, but I think it's going to be a really nice plus to the park.
Right. No, it sounds fun. It sounds like something I'd want to see, but I am still trying to imagine people packing into the amphitheater and like getting boys and girls in just a few minutes. Kite Tails is going to take off. I don't know. Based on what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like that sort of a show. So we'll see how they go about it.
That is a solid point. I honestly wasn't thinking of that because I was thinking, this is something like you'll walk by and enjoy, kind of like what did they call them? The Merry something or others at Christmas time at the entrance to the park with all the winter animals, puppets. Oh, the Merry Menagerie.
Yeah, but I had a similar thought, like, you get to talk to the guy and then he'll be flying it and you'll get to meet him. I'm like, no, that's not what this is. It sounds like it's an actual show, but
it's an amphitheater with music. So, yeah, you're right. I don't see that packing people in, but we'll see. We'll see. Come October 1st. Now we're going to talk about something that we've talked about quite a bit, because first we discussed Disney After Hours Boo Bash, which was an abridged Halloween party on a much smaller scale than Mickey's Not So Scary. Then we discussed the tickets costing double the amount of that bigger party. And then we theorized that people were paying for very low crowds, but the reality is that some sold-out dates, in fact, most of the sold-out dates, were showing as available recently, and people were able to purchase tickets. Bad news for those folks who were hoping for super low crowds. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, there's a million different things that we could infer here, and obviously people are going to come to their own conclusions. But the truth is we don't know anything. I mean, it's definitely disappointing if they are going to pack these anywhere near as much as they did for Not So Scary, because then what's the point? But, obviously I don't have any idea how many tickets they sold or how many tickets they plan on selling or how many tickets they sold for Disney After Hours before that. So, I mean, that's definitely a devil's advocate way to look at it. But yeah, I mean, I wish we knew more. And if I were them, I would promote the fact that you opened more tickets. Like, that's why it's weird that it just kind of happened, almost as if, I don't know if they had like set a really low number initially just to make sure that the demand didn't like overwhelm it and sell more tickets than they needed to. And then they like open another wave. Like I'm saying, there's so many possibilities.
There may have been fear of, they might have been worried that, with that crazy ticket price and it being a much smaller party, they might have been like, this may not sell well. And they're like, we don't want to look bad, so we'll set a super low ticket number so that we can say sold out and then add dates later. And then obviously the added dates sold out. And now they're like, well, we can't add any more dates, so let's add capacity. I truly hope for the folks who paid for this that it is just still super low crowds, even with the additional capacity. Who even knows how many they added? Maybe it was only 500 tickets per night or something. But, gosh, the Boo Bash scares me.
Well, we'll find out, and it's right around the corner. It's not Halloween around the corner, but this starts right around the corner.
That is true. The last thing I want to talk about with you today is this work going on over in Mickey's Toontown for, of course, the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction coming to Disneyland. I just want to say, have you seen this video going around of, like, demolition?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't realize where all the construction was happening in Toontown, like how much of it was going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see during park hours, the bulldozer just taking out chunks of the building.
I mean, quite
Very
literally,
weird.
That's what it is. Like, it's kind of, I could picture children standing there crying, like, frankly. But then I started thinking to myself, I mean, I've seen some demolished buildings in Epcot more recently, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a truck in that close proximity during the day destroying Disney buildings. Am I mistaken? Like, can you recall any times?
I mean, I don't know the history of all the construction and stuff, but no, the proximity. It
doesn't ring a bell, right?
The proximity and the daytime is definitely what I think is key here, because obviously you can see them or doing construction far away or places where you're not supposed to peek, but this is, in no way hidden. Like, they have the normal level work wall, which doesn't cover the roof of the building.
Yeah, and they're just taking buildings that, are good buildings that have been there since, when did Mickey's Toontown open? Early 90s, right? Oh, okay, 94, maybe around there, sure. And that is, they've been there a long time, but it's a little weird to just see them, buildings that are really in fine shape, maybe a little sun-faded, but otherwise fine shape, being destroyed for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Gag?
Because of the gag factory?
Yeah.
But good job, Kyle. But yeah, it was shocking to me. And of course, the videos of it went all over Twitter. But I did hear that, like, the next day that construction stopped during the day. And who knows? They could have just been done or something. But apparently there have not been, like, more situations like that since then, because I think it blew up to something bigger than they expected.
Someone got a little overzealous.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But it also kind of plays into this whole gag, to use your word, that they've been doing in general with, like, the giant sign that they have there that says, "What big building?" I believe that's what it says. And there's, they've torn down so much of Toontown. I mean, Toontown is small to begin with. And when you tear down that much or have that much blocked off from construction walls, it just feels like a huge construction zone. So this giant building was put up during quarantine and everything that is the home for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And they're just playing into it with this giant sign that says, "What big building?" And I mean, you can kind of play the construction into that as well. Like, what construction?
They should lean into it even more. Like, how one of the lines in Mission Breakout is Disneyland. That's thematically inconsistent. They should have signs that definitely, like, acknowledge all the rumors and stuff. Be like, hey, just be thankful that as much as what's staying is staying. Or like, hey, remember when you thought that this is where Star Wars Land was going to go?
Oh, speaking of, like, rumors and theme park stuff, let's go on a tangent for a second over to Universal with their whole Velocicoaster
the churro thing?
This was amazing. Okay, so this story is so fun.
I don't know about amazing.
Oh, I love it. I love this so much. So, of course, Universal is famous for basically building attractions that are very obviously something and denying. And for months, whenever people said, look at the Velocicoaster construction, they were basically like, we're just building a churro stand. And then on opening day, everybody that exited that attraction got a free churro. And they're like, see, we're just building a churro stand. I'm like, that's genius. Like, I don't know which idea came first. My guess is somebody just tweeted it's a churro stand, but somebody was smart enough to be like, let's legitimately make this a churro stand and give free churros to everyone, and basically punch.
And then so many
Disney
people
marketing
threw them
like
away.
Did they really?
Did you not see that photo? There was, like, someone took a photo of people, just like a trash can full of free churros. Just like, what? You people don't trust the free churros?
Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, unless you're riding it like 20 times in a day, which I doubt people were. But I thought it was honestly a brilliant piece of marketing. I thought it was very clever. And frankly, if you don't follow Universal Orlando's Twitter account, you should, because it's some of the best laughs I get throughout the day. It's fantastic. But speaking of playing into the themes, at Show For You on Twitter said that they should have had a sign there that says they're building a freeway, which of course ties into Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I thought was really clever. I think that would be fun. We're building a freeway. So cool. But listen, that attraction, I still am, for some reason, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be in Disneyland. I don't know why. It's weird to me. It makes sense. I actually think it's a better home for it than where it is at Walt Disney World. But I just, I don't know. I haven't accepted the fact that we're getting it here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been away from the parks for so long that I'm like, forget that new attractions are there. I'm like, oh yeah, that exists. I haven't done that either.
Yeah, you're going to have an epic vacation the next time you go.
Hopefully. I'm going in August.
To World
to
or
Walt
Land?
Disney World.
Nice.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know how much we're going to get to do because we're there for some business things.
Are you doing Boo Bash?
No, we're doing a Laughing Place summit. Our entire staff is getting together in person for the very first time. I mean, I guess for D23 partially, but not everyone was there because we have Orlando people. So.
Oh, that's fantastic! I love that. That'll be fun. Well, cool. Well, anyway, that's what I got this week, Kyle. Anything else you want to add?
I will add that I really want to see Avengers Campus. And if it was up to me, I'd go do that before I went to Walt Disney World. But it's not up to me.
I'll be going in August, whether or not I get on Web Slingers. Maybe I'll be going sooner, but at the very least, I'll be going in August. So we'll see. We'll see. But other than that, hey, happy 4th of July, Kyle. Happy Independence Day to those of you in the United States. And if you're not in the United States, happy whatever day of the week.
Happy Canada Day, July 1st.
Is it July 1st? Happy Canada Day. Hey, I love that. I hope our friends in Canada are doing okay. I know things are still tight up there, so come on.
Well, I have a couple friends who have now been fully vaccinated up there, so things are looking up.
Good. Love to hear that. Anyway, Kyle, thanks for joining. We'll be back again in a couple weeks with more Disney news.
Bye.
To read more about any and all of the stories you've heard here today, simply visit the show note link in this episode's description. You've heard the news, and now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think about the Destination D23 event coming to Walt Disney World? Or what do you think about another Tower of Terror movie being made? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569 and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. That phone number can be found in this episode's description, along with a link for some free gifts from me to you. The easiest way to make sure you don't miss any of the magic is by subscribing to Disney Coast to Coast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Wherever you search, don't forget, it's Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast. As always, thank you to those of you who support the show on Patreon. You make all of this possible. And a special thank you to Robert Scontrino, who executive produced this episode. If you enjoy these honest conversations about Disney and have the means, please consider becoming a member of the DCTC community over at patreon.com/DisneyCTC for far less than the cost of a Dole Whip. Plus, you'll gain rewards. You can find that link in this episode's description. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. This podcast is part of the DePodcast Network. Learn more about this show, plus find more quality and entertaining podcasts at DePodcastNetwork.com. That's DEPodcastNetwork.com.